Hello? Listen to that. Can you hear it? It's a sound of silence. What a strange thing to say. Silence doesn't have a sound at all, does it? Silence is no sound at all. It's a powerful thing too, though. I sometimes love to be quiet and listen to the silence. Our story today is all about a man called Elijah. He's frightened because people want to get him. He hopes God might help him in some big way, but things don't work out quite how he imagines. Listen to the story of Elijah. Not all of Israel's kings were as good or faithful as David. King Ahab was one of the worst. He did not care for his people like a good shepherd. His faith in God was so weak that he began to follow the gods of his wife, Jezebel. This made God cross, for he longed for the people of Israel to be faithful towards him, and King Ahab was leading them all in the wrong direction. So God spoke, as he always did, to his prophets. And during the reign of King Ahab, one prophet stood out head and shoulders above all of the others. His name was Elijah. Elijah heard God's voice clearly, and he spoke God's words to Ahab even more clearly. He told King Ahab that he and Queen Jezebel were leading the people astray. Ahab and Jezebel were so angry with Elijah that they promised to kill him if ever they could find him. Elijah ran for his life. He ran as far as Mount Horeb, where he tried to hide while he waited for God to speak to him again. On Mount Horeb, Elijah looked out for God. He stood at the entrance to a cave looking out at the sky. The wind and the clouds swirled round and round until they became a hurricane that split the rocks around him. But he couldn't find God in the hurricane. When Elijah stood and looked again for God, he felt the ground begin to shake under his feet as a huge earthquake suddenly rocked the mountainside. Rocks were falling all around. God must surely be in the earthquake. But no. When the mountain was engulfed by fire, Elijah was certain that God was to be found in the fire. After all, that is how God had met with Moses, but no again. It was only when the fire died down that Elijah heard, in the silence, a whisper. It was God who spoke to refresh Elijah's faith and to give him the strength to bring the people of Israel back onto paths that God had marked out for them. Elijah learned that it is often in silence and stillness that God's voice can be most clearly heard. Our symbol for today could have been several things. It could have been a shaking earth. It could have been a whirlwind, a hurricane, or a storm. Instead, yes, it's a fire, one of the big things that he imagined God might be in. God comes not through earthquake, wind, or fire, though, but as a tiny whisper in the silence. Bye-bye. I'll see you another day.